Welcome to Amiga Rochester, and on the bench today we have an SE30. Overall, decent shape, little corrosion, nothing an ultrasonic bath will not resolve with some toothbrushing. So I wanted to go over, and please disregard the bodged in caps. They were purely for temporary use. I will be replacing them with proper, or at least putting those in properly afterwards. So I wanted to discuss, I'm going to start a new series, or try to, called just quick fixes. A lot of times we spend time on boards and don't really know, what fix something, or we're trying to fix something, but we're kind of going in blind. So I wanted to go over kind of what I did to figure out this board without just shotgunning parts. We replaced one part and to fix it. We did, swap out a chip, but that I don't consider that as, so let's go into what was happening. I can't really reproduce it because that would involve replacing the bad chip. But so we had a vertical line, or horizontal line, horizontal line, which was going from left to right. We call that a horizontal or a vertical collapse. So the first thing I did was, pull up the schematics. Very important to have. If you don't have these, there's a very, very nice GitLab repo where somebody converted some Apple schematics to KiCad. These are far better, far easier to search because the text is actually searchable. So let's go over kind of the general use case, the general functionality of a CRT monitor. So you have the horizontal sync and you have the vertical sync. So from the beginning, that tells the monitor, hey, this is when to do, whatever. So first thing that comes to mind is I'm probably missing vertical sync. Now, it was kind of hard on these schematics to figure out what generated the vertical sync. So what I ended up doing was I just started pulling the leg and then checking, is there a signal there? If so, then I know that's where vertical sync was generated. Long and short, UG6 is what generates the vertical sync. I believe then UG7 generates the horizontal because there's a horizontal sync. So start probing that. There's no signal. Check continuity everywhere. There's continuity, so we're good there. Go ahead and I start probing the signals off of UG because UF8, which we'll get to, and UG6 are directly connected to each other. There's no resistors or anything in between. So UG6 is a great place to monitor the signals off of UF8 because just convenience. So started monitoring those and they looked really distorted. I made sure that we had the 16 megahertz clock. That was good. Made sure, we had 5 volts. That was good. The only thing we didn't have were the video addressing. In fact, that was completely missing. Or if it was there, it was very distorted in either high, 5 volts, or it was oscillating. It was very bad. So I made sure all the signals and everything on UF8 were good, and went ahead and we replaced UF8, and this is what we get. There we go. So what's the lesson here? So, first, trust your oscilloscope. Look at signals. Now, this may not always lead you to the promised land, but it's going to give you a visual representation. If you see that a signal that should be oscillating, between 5 and 0 volts is only oscillating microvolts, something's probably wrong either with the connection or the chip that's driving it. Sometimes it can help to remove, if I knew this chip should be good, I could remove this chip and look okay, yeah, the signals are good there, so it might be something with this chip. Also swap chips. If you have that same chip, swap it, and it's socketed, swap it. I've worked on these where it looked like it, people go, oh, it's RAM. It's, it's easy to kind of get lost when you don't know the board. Even if you fixed a few of them, you're gonna fall into traps. I've done it myself. I admit to it. Difference is just learn from it. Take notes. Okay, RAM's probably not my issue under these circumstances, but this stuff is what fixed it. You may not find exactly right away what it is, but it's going to guide you. So the other thing, take notes. Like, I now know this generates the vertical sync. Sometimes you can Google that stuff. Not always. I find that sometimes the information out there is very lacking. So what I'm going to try and do is update my site. I have a kind of, repairs section. And I'll go ahead and post like, hey, this is what I did. And how I troubleshooted this to solve it. I would have loved to have, recorded, but honestly, like, I have so many boards that I'm going through. I don't have that kind of time or that setup. I would love to, but the reality is I'm getting paid to quickly go through these things. I would love to be like Northridge Fix, have a whole setup for it. I'm also just not that confident in doing that. But I think these videos will help. Kind of quick tips, how I figured it out in the end, what I wish I would have done. Let me know if you like these kind of videos. These are easy for me to produce because I could generally just record them and probably upload them. I realized I shot this in vertical. It happens. Quick tip. If you want to work on a CRT without, because of the vertical line, do not run a CRT long term with a vertical line. Not a good idea. Just pop off the back, just kind of wiggle it off. Do not ratchet. You will snap this neck. I know many people that have, including customers. Always feel bad for them. But this board has been recapped. I just need to, like I said, fix these. And she's ready for ultrasonicking and pretty much going home. Actually, it's a local customer. I'm going to go through. I've already verified, a few things on the board and do an episode on some things to check on these. Hope you enjoy this. Let me know if you have any questions.